What's up, everyone? We're back with more Great Ace Attorney 2. Also, I just noticed frickin' Shamspear's smug, low-poly ass in the background. Look at him. Look at the non-existent... Look at the severe lack of pixels from how far away he is. Also, we're back to playing the game. Anyways... All the evidence, you say? Oh, right. I should probably show off what he actually just said, just in case, even though we went over it last time. Because, I gotta remember, these uploads are a day apart, so... Not everyone's gonna remember each and every word people say. All the evidence, you say? That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big mustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind. If only we had that kind of evidence. Don't worry. This summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light. Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. Let's just press, everyone, as we always do. This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam. But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas and air is free. Why should ultimate gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever. This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either. If I might interject here. Yes, madam. It seems my fellow juror takes issues with the price our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up. Oh, what a beastly man. That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea, and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable. I think you messed up one with the other. No, Mr. Natsume isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes. Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas. Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir? Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I'd take poison over gas every time. You'd take poison? Well, what I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it? Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room. Ugh. You're right, I hadn't considered that at all. Young lawyer man. Yes? You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative. Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. Huh. Alright. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so, damn it. She's really buzzing now. All I've heard about are wonderful fuels, explosions, and poisonings. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly, but the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Ultimate is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes, and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks. Oh my god, look at our dude here. He's just like,
Excuse
me. What's up? Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry, I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see. Go on. An ultimate gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? Afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there. Oh, please, everyone knows. But it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean? Sorry. Now I'm the one about to die of Now I am the one about to die of asphyxiation. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Asphyxiation. I don't know. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connected their customers to our pipe network. Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's gas on the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
Oh, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might. You can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right, the lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring out into the house. What a disaster. The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all, I said. Huh. So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish the lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Naruhodo, I think perhaps... Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues that try to Like I said, madam, it's widely known already.
Very well, juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Don't worry, we'll get to it. Okay. Let's go and check out 5 and 6. You mean it's poisoned?
That's right. It's happened a tidy few times now. This is most troubling indeed. It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look on her face and she slips some white powder into my cup.
And you drink it anyway?
I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it.
And what happened to you? What did it taste like?
It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell.
Insert laugh track. Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt.
No. So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. Let's move on, please.
Alright, what do you got? Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you change your leaning? Eh? Sorry, what's that now? I was just saying if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on the night. What's the matter with you? Sorry? I said if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all? I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that is appropriate here. Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently. I suppose the trouble is, he has selective hearing. Exactly, but still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. This is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people. I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shamspear is really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way, and not via Mr. Natsume's tea. Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen. Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten. Like what? It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else says. If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course. Once again, Sosuke-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. No need. I already know this. Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible. Of course, I'm sure you're right. But if you decide you would like your memory refreshed, you need only ask, Miss Naruhodo. Alright. Nothing else. Okay, maybe blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble. Maybe. Ooh. Let's try this. These two statements clearly contradict each other. Man, I cannot speak today, can I?
Good gracious! To whose statement do you refer, counsel?
Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said?
Hey, well, yes, of course. Yeah, I heard him mumbling about something or other.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene to see if there were any traces of poison there?
I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe... Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such a irrelevance.
What a piece of work is a man? What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare? What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir. I thought I had been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body.
Good lord!
Okay, so I guess there literally has been tested for poison, meaning that he was poisoned somehow. I thought maybe they were just pulling this poison strychnine bullshit out of their ass.
Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying? Is that what he's saying?
Or is the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him, For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
This is no summation examination, this is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture.
Listen, last time I checked, the prosecution isn't allowed to speak during a summation examination, so you can shove it. Don't get scared of this prune, Ryunosuke.
To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to place his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection!
You are a dumbass. Do you not remember the entire frickin' box? It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. Smack. And I have evidence to prove it.
Alright, you've got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself.
So would I. Let's see this evidence, then. Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that, time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of his gas lamp. Right there, handprints on the wall. What the heck? These are... Wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene.
Skin prints, counsel? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however.
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It reveals all of the places Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? Well, if he would convince something like this, who's that great Sholmes fellow here, that's for sure.
I agree, this month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect, on the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here. Around the hanging
picture there, indeed multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps? At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, Imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... Ah! I don't believe it. The gas lamp. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that... Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspear has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp.
Right. What have you been up to, you nut?
I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement... What? Me now? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights and the gas stove to go out, and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is... If Mr. Shamspear were to have blown hard enough into the gas pipes here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will.
Crikey. Crikey.
Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
Wait, never mind, I'll keep that one to myself for a bit.
Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination.
Yeah, that hasn't stopped you before now, has it?
I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zykes? This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective.
It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. He is right, I do have time on my hands. When did you get here? Oh, I woke up late, but I'm here now. Certainly even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
But... Please, my lord, if I may.
Mrs. Sato?
It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Get owned, you bitch.
And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has seen now. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree.
All of them.
You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide.
Juror number 3.
Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints. Boom, boom. 2 of them. Alright, we just need 2 more, I think. We need to tip it in our favor.
What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy.
Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise.
No, wait! You heard his lordship. It's not fair to take him evidence.
You're about to get ratioed. Fair play.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo.
If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Mrs. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success.
Oh, you sweating now, boy. I'll tell you what.
Why, Mr. Shamspear? You seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it. Ganbare. Ganbate.
Very well, continue, Counsel.
Okay, we just need one more.
I'm very interested in the results of this great detective's investigation at the scene.
We're the ones who decide if the evidence is worthy of consideration or not. Us, the jury. I don't believe in breaking promises. We can't come to a decision while so much is up in the air. Alright, one thing we didn't do, actually, is we didn't go through this regularly. We haven't tried going through this without doing stuff. Let's try going through it regularly. Come on. Is that it? Oh.
Clearly this is a very involved subject, but I feel we have digressed rather too much already.
I might have skipped some lines back there.
I concur, though if my learned friend wishes to be an expert in gas, I believe the subject will suit him well. To your new career in nothingness.
Thank you so much.
You will turn your attention to the next juror's assertion.
I can't present and I can't pit with those two. This is interesting from here on out. I have no idea who to pit. Let's go with this. Yeah, I got no idea what to do here. This is very weird. Let me try going past all this again. Music cuts out. Alright. That's all that. What about you? Let's go back to you, maybe. All the evidence, you say. Okay. We still have this again. Oh, shoot. Wait, this is all new. This is all new. Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. Well, the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events in the night in question. What do you make of that? What, your so-called skin prints?
It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself.
The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was.
Well, yes, I won't deny that it's plain on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides...
Yes?
Even if the fellow had been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it?
Oh.
If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You do make a very valid point, sir.
What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty.
No, wait. Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is.
Just leave our nationality out of this, please.
Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors that changed their mind before may very well change them back.
What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspeare really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? Let's see. Small quantity of strychnine. Toxic effects members of the tea. Supporting testimony, maybe. No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, it's mostly just because they gave me the option. Hello? Ayo? Let me... It's not registering my inputs. Why is this? What? Okay. Okay, that was really weird. It would not accept that. There is witness testimony that's substantiated. What's that? Testimony? This is incredible. Whose testimony? Yes, it all connects. It's all connected. Everything is linked. The person whose testimony will reveal details about the gas in the garret of residence that night. Namely, Soseki. Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant. Mr. Soseki Natsume himself. The defendant? At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings, there's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even on that fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and someone tried to kill me. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence, or not? Good golly! So that Shamspeare fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose. Now hold your horses there. What would he do that for? Oh, he's sweating. Mr. Foreman. What is it, man? We cannot allow judgment to be passed while this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree, there is more to this case than meets the eye. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic first and foremost. One might say that I practice fair play. Get ratioed, Van Zykes. That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. What you're gonna say, Van Zykes? You're gonna say objection and call the jurors fools?
As the defense has rightly indicated, the summation examination is concluded with the majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now call guilty. 4 now call not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial.
Objection? Yep.
Mr. William Shamspeare.
My lord, how can thy humble Shamspeare serve thee?
I still can't get over Shamspeare.
What say?
Oh my god, the judge voice with the frickin' jester voice. Or the judge with the jester voice.
What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination?
So God mend me, I do solemnly swear, I recall aught of it either, the lamp or the pipe.
But your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh? Bitch, I have destroyed another bottle because of your dumbassery. I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5. Who, me? As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law.
Hey, the jurors are the ones that get to decide, not you, bitch.
As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall, it remains at this time an established conjecture. You would all do well to remember that, you idiots.
Objection!
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there...
Objection!
What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required.
Yes?
Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible.
Ugh! I didn't think of that.
In any case, Counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow up air into the pipe, into the gas pipework where he lived?
There's only one possibility that I can think of. And that is... to use the leaking gas to commit murder. That's what I was gonna say earlier. Because if he was blowing it into it, if he was blowing the pipe, stopping gas, and that was causing Sosuke's room to leak gas every night, that would mean that he was out to kill Sosuke for some reason. And actually, when we were talking to Garrett, he talked about the fact that for some reason, Shamspeare really wanted the middle floor of the Garrett. He wanted the middle floor, and when he was told that the middle floor was already taken and he could only get the ground floor, he tried to get it again and tried to insist for some reason. I have no idea as to why he would do that, but I don't know. It seems likely that could have something to do with it. This game likes to use one-off line. This series likes to use one-off lines that come back later, so I wouldn't be too surprised.
Order, order! Counsel, precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end?
The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled the mysteries so far. This far. Mr. Shamspeare wanted to end the life of... Yet again, we answer with him. Also, look at his fucking portrait. 31 years old. Oh. I like how she's here in the... Despite being a juror, she's still here in the frickin'... what do you call it? In the records. Also, you look way older than you are. Just saying. You're only 32, yet you look way older. Shamspeare's only 1 year younger than you. That is something. Alright, enough of this. Sosuke. If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing.
I live around these parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lid is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time.
Also, we haven't heard the version of this theme with the violins in a while. Mr. Garrett, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspeare was trying to end.
Good gracious! Outrageous!
Sorry, I was cleaning my glasses. I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder.
Good gracious!
There it is. The judge says that a lot.
Objection!
The accused is actually the aggrieved.
Interesting.
He's just like, I have never seen someone do something so brazen as trying to flip the entire case on me. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here.
What? How can you still claim that?
Let us indulge your fantasies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there?
Who did put it there?
The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical.
Wait a second. This envelope was found inside of... This envelope was ripped open, and we saw that Miss Green had the rest of it. She had the rest of this envelope, and she had a note inside of it. We didn't get to read the note that she had. The note that she had was the one that told her to go to a certain place. And we found this part of it, inside Shamspeare's place. So the point that arises there, and now, is there's a connection between Shamspeare and Miss Green. Did Miss Green poison him? Because she was going to use poison to take herself out. So, this is a conundrum.
If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison? So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs?
Also, that would make sense. If she was trying to avenge Duncan, that could have also been something. You mean to suggest...
Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known.
What?
In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Sosuke Natsume.
Oh no, oh no.
Whatever Mr. William Shamspeare may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetrated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume.
Uh-oh.
The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend?
Been a while since I've had to voice Ryunosuke slamming his back against well, the wall. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against on us. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage.
What advantage?
Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt.
You mean, name the true culprit?
I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all.
Yes. As it happens... Oh my god, did I actually piece it together right before the game forces me to do it? One possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. Huh, what? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly...
There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime.
The true culprit? A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax.
Oh, it won't be a disappointing climax, I can tell you that much. Thank you.
Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime?
I can only think of one possible person. Obviously, it is Adrian B. Meterman. Okay, not actually. I think there's only one possible person it could be, though, realistically. And that is... Iris Wilson, age 10, come on down. No, Olive Green. The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mrs. Shamspeare is, I believe... Miss Olive Green.
Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where. Miss Olive Green, the woman from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe. But I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. And I hardly need remind the court that Mr. Shamspeare's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi.
Unless it was late in advance.